The Pope is dead. Long live the Pope. It's time to find a new Pope. And because of that, we have to form a conclave. That's right. Conclave, everybody. Festival darling. One that a lot of people liked. A crowd pleaser, if you will. It's a really silly, fun little movie that is good counter programming to the big blockbuster coming out the same week. And one of those I want to talk about. It's not the big blockbuster, it's Conclave. I love stuff about religion. In particular, I love stuff about like the Catholic Church. I think there is such a rich history to be mined in there to do whatever you want. Talk about it in any capacity, I find it interesting. It is just big architecture, weird religious rules and ideas, and from there comes a storyboard of ideas of whatever you want to cherry pick to talk about. I love that stuff. It always excites me. Religion is just such an interesting topic, in my opinion, and it's one of the things I just love to explore and study and understand and try to understand every aspect of religion. I'm not Catholic. I don't have any connection to the Vatican or the Pope or a conclave or any of that stuff, but I like learning about it and seeing different interpretations of it. And this movie was really exciting to me. It's a festival darling. People are giving it lots of accolades and acclaim. There's a good chance it could win some major awards at an academy in the next couple of months. So I wanted to watch it. It's hitting everything I like. A mid-budget film with actors acting in like real production-y sets we built, in real costumes we had designed to look like a real thing about a fictional story based on a book you could find at an airport. Oh, we're hitting all the beats, baby. Man, is that nice. I say this a lot, and I hate that I say it here, too. We used to make them like this all the time. We rarely make them like this anymore. But the fact that this movie is in cinemas now, in a wide release, and it's getting pretty good word of mouth, and the theaters are getting full, and the audience is having a visceral reaction, proves to me we're on the right track. Conclave is exactly the shot in the arm we need for this specific time in the industry. Mid-budget, big production, actors doing cool stuff, with a story you can vaguely understand going in directions you could never expect. That's awesome. I love to see that. I live for that stuff. Movies are good when they're good, man, and this is a good movie. It's exactly what I said it is. The Pope died, and we have to have a conclave to elect the new Pope. If you know anything about, like, the history of the Vatican and electing popes, I'm sure this is going to look stupid to you, because it's probably fake, or it's perfectly accurate, and that's terrifying. I know nothing about that, and I'm sure the wide majority of people don't know what goes on behind the scenes in a conclave to who we elect as a new Pope. Turns out it's very political and charged with people with their own ideas and views. Who would have thought electing a government official would have conflict, right? Look, it is a political thriller set in the Vatican where a lot of weird stuff goes on and things happen. It's so film-esque, and I just really respect that. It is fully aware what we're trying to do. We're not going for realism here. We're going to have actors saying preposterous lines. They're going to have great musical stings to introduce us to a new scene, to give us a foreboding, ominous feel into the next one. God, is it cool. Big costumes for everyone. Everyone's wearing a big cardinal outfit, the big hats and robes and a necklace or whatever. Everyone's just walking down big stairs or entering like big coliseums or whatever. An insanely good looking movie. The cinematography is great, the color palette is great, but the production design where we rebuilt a lot of this stuff, I'm sure you could just like walk to any like production house or like, oh, you need us to build like the Vatican or like some old Roman adjacent stuff. We can do that easy. I'm sure that's like a staple where if you go to like a VFX house, they're like, oh, you need us to make a shark? Yeah, we got like a bunch of sharks on file. Because they all kind of look the same because we're building it after like a normal place. But I'm never unimpressed with the way like we make the Vatican look. It always looks cool. That's when we go to a lot of different corners and nooks and crannies of stuff and introduce us to a wide range of different cardinals from around the globe, all representing one brand of Christianity and the politics that come into that. Man, that is so silly. Like, who sits down and is like, you know what's fucking awesome? How weird it is to elect a pope. What if that was a movie and there was like actual intrigue behind that? That's a weird way to go about it, but we did it. We made it pretty cool. Now, the head of this conclave comes to us from Dean Lawrence. He is played by Ralph Fiennes, who is getting some recognition for this performance. He is probably going to pick up a Best Actor nomination at the Academy Awards. I say that loosely. We're only in October right now. Who knows what's going to happen by the time we get there. Just incredible performance from him, who is just a guy in a crisis of faith the entire movie. Like, does he believe in the Pope, God, the church, or his place in any of it? He's trying to hold the fort down while trying to gather information that could potentially benefit the church. And I really like that. He gives a really cool speech like halfway through the film, which is like, the church is very complicated, and maybe we should try more progressive or interesting tactics to get to a new location within the church, because I think a lot of people perceive us as one thing. Let's maybe skedaddle this way. And from there, we get all the different parties vying to be, the Pope. You have like the one classic Italian man who's like, the church represents the old thing. That's what we need to be. You have the liberals with Stanley Tucci heading them, like, we should do stuff that includes women and gays. You have the Americans who are like, I don't know. Hey, America, we're kind of normal. You have the African side that's like, well, we could probably garner the most votes, but maybe our views are very set in a traditional way. We don't know. Are people going to vote for Ray Fiennes? Are they going to go for like this outside candidate that just kind of like showed up unexpectedly? Truly crazy stuff. And I'm like, this is not something I'd think about when I think of like the Vatican, but it's kind of cool somebody did. It's a really tight script, very intriguing on every page, and that just comes down to every single aspect of this movie is working in tandem together to make something unique. The costuming, the acting, the cinematography, when it all comes together with a beautiful script, you are getting the sense that everybody was aware of what they are doing and willing to commit to this bit. It is trashy. Do not take this seriously. It is trying to play to your emotions of knowing this is a movie and not realistic. And that's not a bad thing. You need more movies like that are just fully aware of, like, we could get some money here and do something cool and chaotic and just work. Movies used to do that all the time. Conclave is an example of that. Because there are some crazy twists and turns here that you're just not expecting. And god damn, did an audience react to them so fucking well. I was blown away by how interacted my audience was with a lot of the stuff going on here. Some specific moments of like, oh, what is this character's relation to this character? What are we secretly hiding here? Are we blackmailing somebody here? Where is this going this way? And then an end piece to like set up like, this is a new era of the church and how we get to like the reveal for that. My entire audience was like, oh shit. Just realizing that is very clever. I think that's fantastic. And it's been a while since like that experience like moved the entire cinema. Just like, oh man, we're really trying with something specific here. That's really cool. An incredible supporting cast. Isabella Rossellini, she shows up for a little bit and is just commanding, which is what she should be. She is that presence and does some good stuff. But everybody is just firing on every aspect you know them to do. Stanley Tucci is doing the Stanley Tucci thing. John Lithgow is doing the John Lithgow thing. We're all aware of how these people can play in this world, and when we dress them up in a big costume and say, do your specific thing but to this angle, you get some incredible stuff happening here. And just like the pageantry of a bunch of men in their silly robes sitting in a room, writing a name on a ballot and dropping it into a box and nobody being happy with who's winning what for this election, it's coming out at a very politically charged time in America, and I think the aspect of religion in terms of politics is going to play to a lot of people in a strong way and give us something cool to react to. It's really exciting, and I think it just handles this with such severity, where they like lock the windows and lights and you can't communicate with anybody in the outside world. It's a conclave. Nothing can affect you, but then domestic terrorism happens and sexual assault happens, and you're like, whoa, okay. That's an interesting angle to play with this too, like a bunch more stuff happening. What does the church mean in all of this chaotic nonsense? This is a really fun movie that is going to play well to an older crowd, but I think young people should watch it too. I mean, I am in my 20s. The audience I saw this with was primarily older than me, and I think it's going to play well to that crowd, but this has a lot of ideas and expressions that work for a younger generation. Maybe not someone who's like 10, but if you're 15 and maybe you are steeped in like religion, and that's something like your parents bring you up on, and you want to maybe see things in a different light, just like what does the aspect of the church mean in this capacity, or what are they fighting for here? There's something interesting to explore here. And it's just like a really fun, trashy movie that looks good, sounds good, beautiful score, everything rocks. Conclave kind of rules. Look, is it the best of the year? No. Have I had better experiences at the movies? Probably. But that's not to say this didn't work in every aspect it was trying to work on. It's gorgeous and funny and silly and stupid and incredible. And I'd be happy with a Best Picture, Best Director, Best Production Design, Best Costuming, and Best Actor win all the way down the board. So, Conclave, I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.